your short videos look too dark or it is completely blown out, this is the reason. In video production, there is something we call exposure. Exposure is simply how bright your subject appears on camera. When your shot is underexposed, the image is going to be very dark and you will lose the details in the video. When your shot is overexposed, the image is going to be very bright and the highlights will be blown out in the image. Here's the good news. Across every camera in the world, either your phone or your camcorder or your DSLR, exposure is controlled by just three things. We have the ISO, the aperture, and we have the shutter speed. Now, ISO controls the sensitivity of the sensor of your camera. Now, if you increase the ISO, if you use a higher ISO, your image is going to be brighter, but there's a tendency that there will be noise introduced in your footage. When you use a lower ISO, the image is going to be cleaner, but it can also make the frame to be darker. And the second thing that controls the exposure is your aperture or your f-stop. When you use a wide aperture, it lets in more light and gives you a blurry background. Now, but when you use a narrower aperture, it lets in less light, but it's going to keep your subject in focus. The number three thing that controls exposure is your shutter speed. When you use a slower shutter speed, you allow more light into your camera. When you use a faster shutter speed, you allow less light. Now, for video, there is a golden rule that you must follow. Your shutter speed should be about double the frame rates that you use in recording. So if you are shooting in 24 frames per second, your shutter speed should be 1/58 of a second, or you use 50 as your shutter speed as your camera will display. Now this helps to match the natural motion blur. That's the way with passive movement. Now that's why your video looks smooth instead of looking choppy. When you're adjusting your ISO, always ensure that it's still within the camera's clean ISO range. Every camera has an ISO range. Now once you pass this range, your image begins to get noisy and soft. As for your aperture, if you use a wide aperture, your image is going to give you a beautiful blurry background, but it makes your focus harder as well. Narrow aperture makes everything look sharp, but it's going to require more light for your subject. So you have to choose based on your shot, not just on the need for your bright. Now, if you follow all of these rules and your image still looks dark, don't force the camera, just add more light. Because when you compensate for missing light with your camera settings, your image quality will always have to pay for it. Now, I want you to follow me for more church media tips, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless you. Bye.